the evolution of Godzilla, King of the Monsters. Hey everyone, welcome back to the channel. Today, we're diving deep into the giant footprints of one of cinema's most iconic creatures. Yep, you guessed it, Godzilla. From stomping through Tokyo in the 50s to battling other colossal monsters in the latest blockbusters, Godzilla has been an enduring symbol in film and pop culture. So grab your popcorn, sit back, and let's journey through the evolution of the King of the Monsters, the birth of a legend. So let's kick things off at the very beginning. It's 1954 in Japan, a country still healing from the devastating effects of World War II and the nuclear bombings of Hiroshima and Nagasaki. The shadows of those events loomed large, and there was a palpable anxiety about the nuclear age. Enter Toho Studios, a Japanese film company looking to tap into those feelings. They wanted to create something that would resonate deeply with audiences, encapsulating the fear and uncertainty of the times. And thus, Godzilla was born, a gigantic prehistoric sea monster awakened and mutated by nuclear radiation. The original Godzilla film wasn't just another monster movie. It was a powerful allegory for nuclear destruction and the dangers of atomic weapons. Godzilla represented the uncontrollable force of nature, unleashed by mankind's hubris. The film struck a chord in Japan, offering both a cautionary tale and a form of catharsis for a nation grappling with its recent past. Internationally, it introduced the world to the kaiju genre, giant monster films that would become a staple in cinema. The Showa era, 1954 to 1975. As we move into the Showa era, named after Emperor Hirohito's reign, Godzilla began to evolve, both literally and figuratively. Initially portrayed as a terrifying force of destruction, Godzilla gradually transformed into a defender of humanity. Why the change, you ask? Well, as the films progressed, they started to attract a younger audience. To appeal to kids, the tone shifted from serious and somber to more lighthearted and adventurous. During this time, Godzilla faced off against a host of other monsters, many of whom became iconic in their own right. There's Mothra, the giant moth deity, King Ghidorah, the three-headed space dragon, and Mechagodzilla, a robotic doppelganger built to take down our favorite kaiju. Classic films like King Kong vs. Godzilla, 1962, brought together legendary monsters for epic showdowns. And who could forget Destroy All Monsters, 1968? This film was like the Avengers of kaiju movies, featuring nearly all of Toho's monsters in one colossal battle royale. Godzilla's popularity skyrocketed during the Showa era. He wasn't just a movie character anymore. He became a cultural icon with toys, comics, and even a cartoon series. The Heisei era, 1984 to 1995. Fast forward to the 80s, and Godzilla made a triumphant return after a nearly decade-long hiatus. The Heisei era kicked off with the return of Godzilla, 1984, which served as a direct sequel to the 1954 original, ignoring the lighter, sometimes campy films of the Showa era. This new series of films brought back the darker themes and more serious tone. Godzilla was once again a menacing force, a reminder of mankind's destructive capabilities. The special effects also got a significant upgrade, blending traditional suitmation with animatronics and advanced visual effects. One standout film from this era is Godzilla vs. Biollante, 1989. In it, Godzilla faces off against Biollante, a creature born from genetic engineering gone wrong, a hybrid of Godzilla's cells, a rose, and human DNA. Talk about a complex family tree. The Heisei series focused on continuity, with sequels building upon each other to create a cohesive narrative arc. Themes of environmentalism, the consequences of scientific tampering, and the dangers of nuclear power were prevalent. The era culminated with Godzilla vs. Destoroyah, 1995, where Godzilla's potential meltdown threatened the entire planet. The Millennium series, 1999 to 2004. Entering the new millennium, Godzilla was reimagined once again. The Millennium series took a unique approach. Each film, except for one, served as a standalone story, often ignoring previous continuity and offering fresh takes on Godzilla's lore. The series kicked off with Godzilla 2000 Millennium, 1999, which introduced a new design for Godzilla and brought him back to his destructive roots. The filmmakers experimented with CGI to enhance the monster effects, blending it with traditional techniques for a more dynamic visual experience. One of the highlights of this era is Godzilla Final Wars 2004. This film was a massive celebration of Godzilla's 50th anniversary, featuring an ensemble cast of monsters both old and new. It was action-packed, over-the-top, and an absolute blast for fans. The Millennium series embraced a globalization of Godzilla, incorporating more international elements and aiming for broader appeal. While the films varied in tone and style, they kept the spirit of Godzilla alive, showcasing him as a force of nature that's both awe-inspiring and terrifying. Hollywood's take on Godzilla. Now let's chat about Hollywood's attempts to bring Godzilla to Western audiences. First up, the 1998 Godzilla, directed by Roland Emmerich. This film took some, let's say, creative liberties with the source material. The design of Godzilla was drastically altered, resembling a giant iguana more than the classic kaiju we know and love. The movie was met with mixed reactions. While it introduced Godzilla to a new audience, many fans felt it didn't capture the essence of the character. The lack of atomic breath and Godzilla's more animalistic portrayal left some die-hard fans disappointed. But Hollywood wasn't done yet. In 2014, Legendary Pictures released a new Godzilla, aiming to stay truer to the original concept. This film reintroduced Godzilla as a massive, ancient alpha predator, an embodiment of nature's power. The success of this movie led to the creation of the MonsterVerse, a shared cinematic universe. Kong Skull Island 2017 expanded the universe by reimagining King Kong and setting the stage for future crossovers. Then came Godzilla, King of the Monsters 2019, which brought fan-favorite monsters like Mothra, Rodan, and King Ghidorah into the fold. And of course, Godzilla vs. Kong 2021 finally delivered the epic showdown fans had been waiting for. The movie balanced the legacy of both titans, offering a spectacle that thrilled audiences worldwide. Comparing the Japanese and American versions, there are definitely differences. Hollywood films tend to emphasize human storylines and big-budget effects, while Japanese films often focus more on thematic depth and social commentary. Both interpretations have their merits and have contributed to Godzilla's global appeal, Shin Godzilla, and modern relevance. Meanwhile, back in Japan, Toho Studios wasn't resting on their laurels. In 2016, they released Shin Godzilla, a modern reimagining that brought Godzilla back to his horror roots. Directed by Hideaki Anno and Shinji Higuchi, the film served as a sharp critique of government bureaucracy and inefficiency, drawing parallels to real-life events like the Fukushima nuclear disaster and the 2011 Tohoku earthquake and tsunami. Shin Godzilla presented a terrifying new version of the creature, showcasing multiple evolutionary forms throughout the film. The use of CGI, combined with practical effects, created some of the most striking visuals in the franchise's history. The film was a critical and commercial success, winning several awards, including the prestigious Japan Academy Prize for Picture of the Year. It proved that Godzilla could still be relevant and impactful in the modern era. Cultural impact and legacy. So what is it about Godzilla that has kept him in the limelight for nearly 7 decades? For starters, Godzilla isn't just a monster, he's a symbol. Over the years, he's represented everything from the dangers of nuclear proliferation to environmental destruction and the consequences of human arrogance. His image has permeated almost every aspect of media. There are Godzilla comics, animated series, video games, and countless pieces of merchandise. He's crossed over with other franchises, appeared in advertisements, and even inspired academic studies. The fan community is incredibly passionate. There are conventions dedicated solely to Godzilla and kaiju culture. Fans create their own art, write fan fiction, and engage in spirited debates about the best films or monster battles. Godzilla has also influenced countless other works. Directors like Guillermo del Toro have cited Godzilla films as inspirations for their own projects, like Pacific Rim, which is a loving homage to the kaiju genre. So there you have it, the epic journey of Godzilla, from a metaphor for nuclear devastation to a global pop culture icon. Godzilla's ability to adapt and remain relevant is a testament to the character's depth and the creativity of the filmmakers who've brought him to life. Whether he's a destructive force, a reluctant protector, or a savior, Godzilla reflects our own fears and hopes back at us. Even after all these years, the King of the Monsters shows no signs of slowing down. With new films and projects on the horizon, it's clear that Godzilla will continue to captivate audiences for generations to come. Thanks for joining me on this monstrous journey through the history of Godzilla. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe for more deep dives into your favorite films and characters. Drop a comment below about your favorite Godzilla moment or movie. I love hearing your thoughts. Until next time, keep watching the skies, or maybe just the ocean. Who knows when the next kaiju might surface?